All righty. Well, I want to welcome everyone. We have a quorum, so we can go ahead and get started. We have 14 nominees on the agenda tonight, and the plan is to call the nominees in order of the agenda, but some of our members may be delayed in getting here on this very, very, very busy day, crossover Monday, I should say. So I may have to skip around a little bit, but just to accommodate everyone's arrival. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, our first up to the podium, we'll have Senator Henson to introduce her constituent, Walter Mangels, for the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Cannabis Commission. Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. President. Third for the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Cannabis Commission. Mr. Mangels is a wonderful resident of District 30 here in Anne Arundel County. His prior experience includes experience on the State Board of Directors for the National Beer Wholesalers Association, also a vice president at the CAT-SIF companies. When I had time to sit with Mr. Mangels, what stood out to me most was his most wonderful and loving stories about Mike Bush, our former delegate and Speaker of the House for many years in the District 30 here in Maryland. So I want to present to you for your consideration, Mr. Walter Mangels. Mr. Mangels, you can take the microphone here. Thank you.
Hi, as my senator said, I'm Walter B. Mangels III, and I was nominated for be a commissioner on the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Cannabis Commission. I worked over 40 years in the alcoholic beverage industry, both from a supplier standpoint and a wholesaler standpoint. And I've had the pleasure of working with many of the folks in regulation over the last, as I said, 40 years. And I was delighted when I received a call from Jeff Kelly telling me of my nomination, and that I look forward to working with him and his staff. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, sir. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, and Senate President Ferguson. Thank you.
Next up, can I ask Senator Henson to come back to introduce Stacey Ann Scott for Judge of Anne Arundel County Orphans Court.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, and colleagues. When my husband and I moved to our neighborhood, a very quiet cul-de-sac in Annapolis, Maryland, we were greeted by the most wonderful family. And one day, someone came across the street with the most warm smile and introduced herself and said, "Hi, I'm Stacey." And that is the nominee that's here before you, my neighbor and a distinguished judge here on the Anne Arundel County Orphans Court. Judge Scott is a practicing attorney by trade. She's been an attorney for 15 years, barred in Maryland and also the District of Columbia. She practices in the area of antitrust law and has a specialty in e-discovery. We're very lucky to have her serve on our Orphans Court. She was appointed by Governor Wes Moore to fill a vacancy in 2025, and she's seeking confirmation from this body. Colleagues, I present to you Judge Stacey Ann Scott. Okay. Good evening. Chair Senator Benjamin Brooks, Vice Chair Senator C. Anthony Muse, honorable members of the Executive Nominations Committee, I would like to sincerely thank Maryland Governor Wes Moore for appointing me and granting me the privilege to serve as an Orphans Court judge for Anne Arundel County, Maryland. I also extend my continuing thanks to Senator Shanika Henson for nominating me as Orphans Court judge for Anne Arundel County and for her kind introduction. My genuine thanks to Secretary of Appointments,
Ms. Molly Byron, and her staff for the courtesy and professionalism extended during the appointment process. My journey would not have been possible without the unwavering support of those joining me today, my wonderful parents, Reverend Basil Scott and Mrs. Perlina Scott, who instilled in me the values of integrity and decency. My caring sister, Dr. Renee Crease, and my adorable nieces, Madison Crease and Riley Crease. I am equally grateful for the steadfast encouragement of my extended family, my church family, First Baptist Church of Annapolis, where Reverend Dr. Mark Wainwright is the pastor, my community, special thanks to Mr. Carl Snowden and friends. It is an honor to serve the people of Anne Arundel County as an Orphans Court judge. I will continue to serve with integrity, dedication, and fairness. Thank you to the committee for the privilege of appearing before you today, and thank you for your time and your consideration. Thanks again.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Seeing none? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Have a great evening.
Okay, our next nominee is Miss Ann Joyner for the Blind Industries and Services Board of Trustees. Senator Hershey's not here, so I'll do the introduction for him. And it reads, Chair and members of the committee, it is my privilege to introduce Ann Joyner for appointment to the Board of Trustees of Blind Industries and Services of Maryland. I've known Ann for many years, beginning with her work as the founder and CEO of Talisman Therapeutic Riding in Graysonville. Under her leadership, Talisman grew from a small local program into a respected regional organization providing life-changing therapeutic services to individuals with disabilities, veterans, and families across the Eastern Shore. I respectfully urge the committee's favorable consideration. Okay, Ms. Joyner, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, members of the Executive Nominating Committee. It is an honor and a privilege to be before you today and to represent, as a trustee, Blind Industries and Services of Maryland. It's a fabulous organization. It's an organization started in 1905 by the state legislature, employing individuals who are blind or have low vision. They started by making mops, and today, they're sewing uniforms for military personnel. They're cutting the fabric. We're packaging products for cleaning services. We're packaging paper products. The employment of individuals across Maryland is so significant and so important. 40 years ago, Blind Industries and Services of Maryland also started to offer independent training and rehabilitation services. And quite frankly, I am a client. I am a student. I have learned Braille. I have learned white cane skills. I've learned adaptive technology. And I've learned life skills such as cooking and shopping. Let me tell you, individuals who are blind or have low vision can be independent, and we can make a difference. I am so honored to be considered as a trustee for Blind Industries and Services. My work will hopefully help spread the word throughout the state of the services and employment opportunities through BISM. I am also a fundraising by background, and I hope to help successfully raise money for the organization. Everyone who seeks rehabilitation services through Blind Industries does that at no cost. It is an expensive program, and so I hope to champion a cause and help raise funds for this organization. I also am serving on the Program Development Committee. There are so many people throughout the state of Maryland that need these services. We have 2 primary facilities, one in Salisbury and one in Baltimore. But yet, how do people in Westminster, how do people throughout the state access these services? Transportation is always an issue. You have to have a driver. And so we do have a mobile unit of instructors who go out to all the other areas within the state. I hope to help spread that word and hope that more and more people can avail themselves of the services of this great organization. So I thank Governor Moore for recommending me for this position. I thank all of you for considering me, and I am truly honored to be here.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Joyner. Do we have any questions? I do see Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mary
Just
Beth?
very briefly, Ms. Joyner, thank you for your leadership. Since you referenced Salisbury, and I represent Salisbury, and it's been a couple years since I've been to Blind Industries there where they were doing some of the military work. Can you just very briefly give me an update on anything new at Salisbury that you could share?
The Salisbury division, there's 2 operations that we have in Salisbury that employ individuals. We have a cutting operation and we have a sewing operation. I've had the opportunity to tour both, and it is absolutely amazing. Do not put a needle in my hand, but these are individuals that are operating sewing machines. And what they are doing is cutting operations and sewing operations of military uniforms for all divisions of that serve our country. And it's amazing. They will stitch a pocket, they will stitch a sleeve, they're packaging. And then, of course, we have relationships where those materials are delivered to our service personnel. It's
I
a
appreciate
growing
that,
operation.
and I'm planning to visit soon, but I appreciate that update. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other
Okay,
questions?
thank you very much, Ms. Joyner.
Thank you.
All righty. All right, our next nominee will be Thawat Abarua for the Maryland Economic Development Commission, and to be introduced by Senator Love.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, Mr. President, colleagues. Sarah Love, Senator from District 16 in Montgomery County, to present to you Tharwat Aburaya. Mr. Aburaya has over 30 years in international relations, including senior leadership roles at American Express and AAA in New York, as well as a decade in nonprofit work as president of Baltimore Sister Cities and chairman of the International Friends of Biblioteca Alexandrina. He is passionate about leveraging tourism to drive economic growth. And 2 fun facts that I will leave you with for those of us who are old enough to remember. Mr. Aburaya was appointed by American Express to be in charge of their consumer relations for the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. And for those of us who are really old, he used to be in charge of the traveler's checks for this region. So he is very well qualified for this position, and I appreciate your consideration.
Good evening, Chair Brooks and member of the committee. It is a true honor to be considered for Maryland Economic Development Commission. And I appreciate your introduction, Senator. And I am deeply grateful to Governor Moore, Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller, Secretary Molly Byrne, and Delegate Sarah Wallach, and the Middle East American Affairs Commissioners for their support and confidence in my nomination. Maryland's greatest strength is in diversity, economic, cultural, and geographic. It gives us a powerful competitive edge. We are uniquely positioned to attract global investment, build meaningful international partnerships, and showcase Maryland as a gateway for innovation and opportunities. Throughout my career, I have worked at the intersection of international networks, business development, and tourism promotion. I have seen firsthand how strategic global engagements can drive investment, elevate a region's profile, and create lasting economic impact. I am committed to bringing that same energy and focus to this commission, helping expand Maryland's reach, strengthen its global brand, and support the governor's vision for a thriving, inclusive, and forward-looking economy. Thank you again for the opportunity, and I look forward to any questions you have.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions? Seeing none? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, now can we ask Senator Kramer to come and introduce his constituent, Dr. Peggy Gray Carr, for the State Board of Education.
And thank you for that, Mr. Chair and members of the Exec Noms committees. Colleagues, Dr. Peggy G. Carr is a nationally recognized leader in education statistics and policy whose more than 3 decades of federal executive service have shaped the way the United States and the world understand student achievement and educational progress. As Commissioner of the National Center for Education Statistics, appointed by President Joe Biden, Dr. Carr led one of the nation's largest statistical agencies, managing a $300+ million budget and overseeing dozens of major national and international assessment programs. Renowned for her expertise in large-scale data systems and AI-driven assessment innovation, Dr. Carr has advanced evidence-based policymaking while serving as a trusted voice to Congress, governors, and global education leaders. Her leadership has extended internationally as well as nationally through her prominent media presence and stewardship of education data during critical periods such as the COVID pandemic. Dr. Carr's distinguished career reflects an exceptional combination of research excellence, executive leadership, and a steadfast commitment to improving educational outcomes through rigorous data and innovation. Colleagues, I thank Governor Moore for his exceptional choice to nominate Dr. Peggy G. Carr to our outstanding State Board of Education. I thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that gracious introduction. I certainly appreciate that. And thank you, Chairman Brooks, and the members of this committee today. I am privileged to be here to appear before you today, and I am deeply honored and also privileged to have been nominated by Governor Moore to serve on this important, distinguished committee, the Maryland State Board of Education. What an honor. Throughout my career, as you've just heard, including my service as the Commissioner for the National Center for Education Statistics, the 3rd largest in the country, I have focused on helping policymakers and educators and teachers, those with boots on the ground, understand how reliable data, rigorous data, and research can improve educational outcomes for all students. If confirmed, I will look forward to working collaboratively with the board, the Department of Education, and of course, this distinguished body. I want to support Maryland's efforts to strengthen schools and to ensure that every student has the opportunity to succeed regardless of where they are in this state. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Carr. Do we have any questions? Oh, yes. Senator
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
King.
I would just like to say, Dr. Carr stopped to see me this afternoon, and I've been in this business for a lot of years, and she knows a lot of the same education professionals that I've known over the years. And I've got to say to my colleagues, our state board is in better shape now than it's been since I've been in Annapolis. For so long, there were people on that state board that were just nice people that might like education, but now it's full of people that really know education. So I think it's, times have changed a lot with education, and I think we've got the right team on there now to actually put us in the right direction. So I'm thrilled that you are joining that board.
Thank you, Senator.
All right, and Senator Carrozza?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dr. Carr, I first want to thank you. Not only did we meet virtually, but you gave me about 30 minutes of your time, and we had really a substantive conversation. Just the 2 points that we talked about. I asked you about how you can kind of, you don't just have data to have data, how you use the effective use of data to tie it to student outcomes. So I wanted to just get that on the record today. And then we also talked a little bit about the flexibility that's needed in our local school districts.
Well, transparency is important. Measurable outcomes, just as important. We need to know what is working and where it's working. And when things aren't working, we need to make changes. I think that we have an ambitious and very comprehensive plan before us, but it's going to take work to make sure that all students are getting what is deserved, a high-quality education, so they have the chance of succeeding.
And then our conversation about local school districts, the flexibility they may need.
Oh, yes, absolutely. One of the things that I've had a lot of experience doing is understanding that one size does not fit all, that we have students in different parts of this great state, the United States, and I've seen how we have to be flexible with our strategies. And sometimes, you have to change and make modifications and make sure that people are making progress with whatever it is that they're handed before them and students, and what they come to school with. That's also important.
I appreciate that, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you,
Carr.
Senator Brooks.
Okay, yeah. Also from this, for the State Board of Education, we have Lorena Wu to be introduced by Senator Feldman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Where is Mel? There she is. Triple E Committee deals with State Board educational law, and I'm going to echo the comments of Senator King on that front in terms of the state of the State Board of Education. I'm going to be a little more succinct and a little more subdued than Senator Kramer on this this particular nomination. So this is Lorena Wu, nominee for as student member of the Maryland State Board of Education. Now, her list, she has a document like this long. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to pare it back a little bit here. Currently a sophomore at Poolesville High School, where she has an unweighted 4.0 grade point average. She is co-president of EcoMoco, the largest student-led environmental nonprofit in the state of Maryland. Since 2024, Lorena has served as historian and the youngest executive board member of the Maryland Youth Advisory Council. Since August 2025, she has served as director of legislative affairs and policy as the student member on the Montgomery County Board of Education Advisory Council. She also serves as deputy of legislative affairs for the Montgomery County Regional Student Government Associations. And finally, she has actually testified here on bills before the Maryland General Assembly as an intern for Delegate Lily Chief from District 15. And so with that, I present to you Lorena Wu. And I pared it back. There was twice as much I could say.
Good evening, members of the Executive Nominations Committee. Thank you, Senator Feldman, for the very kind introduction. My name is Lorena Wu, a sophomore from Poolesville High School in Montgomery County, and the very appreciative Moore Miller Administration's appointee for Maryland's State Student Member of the Board of Education. Today, I just wanted to share a little bit about why this role means so much to me. Both of my parents, actually sitting right there, immigrated to the US, each arriving with 2 suitcases and a few $100s. They came to this country for one reason: the educational opportunities that America provides. Now, I'm very grateful that they pour their resources and time into my education and my sister's education. But I know that many students across Maryland don't have access to the same opportunities that I've been given. And that's why I'm deeply honored to have the chance to serve on the State Board of Education to ensure that all of Maryland's over 800,000 students have the same opportunities that my sister and I have had. Serving as Maryland State SMAW will allow me to follow in my parents' footsteps as public servants. It will enable me to work on our education system, not just for myself, not just for my sister, but for all of Maryland's students. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Wu. Senate President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And to Chair Feldman's comments, I was scanning through the resumes, and I sort of stumbled on yours, and I was going through, and I was like, how old is this? How is it possible that all of these things is a software? So I just want to say that the future is very bright if you are a representative sample of the incredible young people that we have in the state. So very much look forward to supporting your nomination. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Senator Augustine.
I'm really, really impressed with the presentation that you made and what you've been able to do. I'm curious how you will be able to share sort of like how you've been able to be so successful to do those things with other students across the state.
Yeah, so I've had the very fortunate opportunities to meet and discuss with so many students from throughout the state through a lot of the activities that I do, as was mentioned, EcoMoco co-president, the Maryland Youth Advisory Council's historian. We hold a lot of different events where we gather students statewide in a lot of the different activities that I do. And so it's been a great opportunity just over the past 6 years of my student advocacy journey and experience to hear so many different student perspectives. Actually, just last week, I was at a Maryland Association of Student Councils conference where there were over, I want to say 1,000 students there. And so that was just a really great opportunity and only one example of the kinds of events that I've been to and experiences that I've had that have allowed me to connect with students statewide.
No, thank you. It's a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Seeing no other questions, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have Margaret O'Kane for the Healthcare Commission to be introduced by Senator Smith.
Good afternoon, everyone. Senator Smith here to present Margaret O'Kane for the nomination for the Maryland Healthcare Commission. Ms. O'Kane has, in the last 35 years, she's been the founding president of one of the nation's preeminent quality review organizations with a staff of over 400 people and an annual budget of over $100 million, and the organization has accredited more than half of the U.S. healthcare plans, representing 216 million insured Americans. She's also not only a renowned director and CEO of this organization, but has impeccable academic qualifications, has a master's in healthcare science and health administration and planning from Johns Hopkins University, and a bachelor's from Fordham University. Apart from the stellar and outstanding professional and academic qualifications, she's had a number of professional honors. In 2024, was one of the 100 most influential people in healthcare. The Gail Warden Leadership Excellence Award for National Center for Healthcare Leadership from Johns Hopkins, Johns Hopkins University Distinguished Alumnus Award, and I could go on. So with that, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, members of this distinguished committee, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to present to you Margaret O'Kane for her nomination.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you all for the honor of having me serve on the Maryland Healthcare Commission. As you heard, for 35 years, I've been working at the national level, and I really look forward to the opportunity to work closer to the ground, and especially, I think, in these times of such turbulence in healthcare, I think the Commission has a lot of work to do to see what we can do to make sure we're best prepared to deal with the issues that are facing us. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, do we have any questions for Ms. O'Kane? Seeing none, thank you very much. Okay. Also, for the Healthcare Commission, can we have Senator Smith introduce Hemi Terwason?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, members of the committee. Senator Smith here to present Hemi Terwason again for the Maryland Healthcare Commission. Apart from the most important role she holds, which is mother of two outstanding daughters, one of whom is here tonight. I think both of whom, one graduated from Blair High School, one is a sophomore in Blair. Ms. Terwason is the executive director of the National Academy for the State Health Policy. And she's done that from 2021 to the present. She leads this is a national organization supporting healthcare policymakers. Before that, she was a senior advisor to governors on Medicaid as part of the Health Care Division's director for the National Governors Association. Before that, a senior attorney at GAO, also advising members of Congress and the executive branch. And before that, practiced in private practice at Powell Goldstein and McDermott, Witt, and Emory as an associate focusing on healthcare, a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania and the George Washington University with a joint degree with an MPH and a law degree. It's my distinct pleasure and honor to present Hemi Terwason for the Maryland Healthcare Commission.
Thank you, Senator Smith, Chairman and members of the committee. It's really an honor to be here today. I'm so pleased by this nomination by Governor Moore. I'll just say this, I am passionate about healthcare. I've been doing this a long time, and I really feel like we're at a critical time for states to really think about how we can make healthcare more affordable and more accessible to the people who really need it. I work with states all across the country in my day job. I work with all 50 states in the District of Columbia. It's very complicated. There's a lot of change at the federal level, and states have tighter budgets. So this is a real time for innovation and change. And so I really feel like I really want to bring that passion to the Maryland Healthcare Commission. And I really feel honored to be able to give back to Maryland. I've spent my lifetime working at the national level with states across the country. I've lived in Maryland for over 20 years. My daughters were born here. I really feel part of the community. And so I'm really pleased to actually bring my ideas that I see across states to Maryland. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you, Ms. Terwason. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, can we have Senator Watson introduce Mr. Eric Barron for the Commission on Judicial Disabilities?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. President, colleagues on the executive noms. There's a gentleman, you might not know him, but let me introduce you to. It is my pleasure to introduce Eric L. Barron, a distinguished attorney, public servant with extensive experience in law enforcement, civil rights, and public service. He served as United States Attorney and the first Black U.S. Attorney for Maryland, where he led major federal, criminal, and civil cases, including work in cybersecurity, public corruption, and civil rights enforcement. His leadership also included efforts to protect vulnerable communities, including individuals with disabilities. Mr. Barron also served in the Maryland House of Delegates, where he was my suite mate, where he focused on criminal justice, public health, and government accountability. His dedication to justice, equity, and protecting all communities makes him an exceptional candidate for this appointment. Colleagues, I proudly introduce Mr. Eric L. Barron.
My man. Thank you, Senator Watson. Mr. Chair, Mr. Senate President, members of the committee, I am so very honored to be with you in this capacity. I'm very honored to Governor Moore for the nomination, to the Appointments Secretary for her due diligence. This appointment to this commission certainly is very important and really reaffirms our commitment to accountability and the rule of law in our state. It would be an honor to serve. It was an honor to work with you all in what seems like another lifetime. I think I worked with each one of you. So that was certainly my honor to work with you and to collaborate with you. I miss some of that not crossover, but it would be an honor to serve you in this capacity. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Barron. And I got to let your senator know that you and we came in together. So I got one up on you on that one. Okay, Senator Augustine.
Thank you. You know, Eric Barron is the most distinguished Marylanders that we have, most distinguished Prince Georgians that we have. We're just so very grateful for your service to our state, to our nation, and that you are continuing that service in this role. And I'm just so very, very proud to support this nomination.
Thank you, Senator.
Seeing no other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Next up, we have David Mulligan for the University of Maryland Medical Systems Board of Directors, or the UMMS Board, to be introduced by Senator Motz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. President, distinguished members. It is a great honor for me to introduce Mr. David Milligan, who's been appointed to serve on the University of Maryland Medical System Board. Mr. Nagel, he brings so much with his own resume. Native of Cambridge, successful, already serves on the board for Shore Health, so he's already integrated in this. It's going to be a smooth transition. But what's very interesting also in his current role is his service in this company named Clarent. It's a fantastic IT company based in Talbot County in Eastern Maryland, and they process more Medicare claims than any other processor in the country. They are phenomenal. His experience there, his experience on the board with Shore Health and moving up to the University of Maryland Medical System Board is going to be a tremendous asset for the state. So it is an absolute joy for me to be able to introduce Mr. Milligan. With that, Mr. Milligan, please step up.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair Brooks and President Ferguson and committee members. First, want to thank Governor Moore and his administration for affording me the opportunity to serve on the University of Maryland Medical System Board and to serve the state. I won't go into my work background because Senator Motz did a pretty good job of that. I will also mention that in addition to serving on the Shore Regional Health Board of Directors, I've also been sitting on the University of Maryland Medical System Board Patient Quality and Safety Committee for the last 7 years. And if confirmed, I want you to know that I'm going to focus on 3 things that I find to be very, very critical. I'm very passionate about these 3 things in healthcare. And number 1, I'd like to really ensure that the people in the communities we serve have access to affordable healthcare. Secondly, that they have access to the healthcare of the highest quality. And third, and probably the most important, that they have access to healthcare that is safe. And I think if we're successful in those 3 areas, we lay the foundation for being able to provide the best patient experience in the communities that we serve. And so with that, I appreciate your consideration and welcome any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Milligan. Senator Sidnor.
Thank you. In looking at your resume, one thing that jumped out, it said you were a sales counselor at Sam Goody.
Yes, in the previous life.
I haven't seen that name in forever. That's a record
yeah,
store,
I was
right?
telling someone about that earlier. There really is a Mr. Sam Goody. It's a real person from New York, yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's been quite a journey, yeah.
Senator Garoza.
Mr. Chair, since we were looking at the resume and what jumped out, I actually saw that You had on there Purdue Farm, Salisbury, Maryland.
Yes, yes. I did my internship. That was an interesting experience. In my senior year, I took over what was called their Y2K database preparation database. It was a database where you had to keep record of whether or not they had properly flashed all of their equipment throughout all of their plants throughout the country. Because as you know, everyone was definitely afraid of what was going to happen when the clock turned over. And so it was a great position as an intern. It was a paid position, and it was a high-profile position. It was really interesting to see Frank Purdue just walking down the hall.
And I trust it gave you a great appreciation for the poultry industry on the shore and in Maryland.
Absolutely, yeah. Love Purdue chicken, yep. Yeah, yeah. Any other questions?
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Milligan.
Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah. Also, from Board, we have David Sheehy to be introduced by Senator Attar.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. President, and members. So I know before committee starts, you have an opportunity to review the nominees' resumes. But I always go through it still because I want to pick out some of the important things that are related to their nomination for you. As I'm going through Mr. Sheehy's resume, I'm like, okay, this is the healthcare field. Number one, healthcare field, and it's going on and on and on. And I didn't think you want to all sit here and listen to me go on for 20 minutes about his experience in the healthcare field, but I just want to tell you that almost everything on his resume is in the healthcare field. He has decades and decades of experience, and so the University of Maryland Medical System is very, very fortunate to have Mr. Sheehy as its nominee, but not just because of his resume. He is also one of my great constituents. So with that, I ask for your support for his nomination.
Thank you, Senator Attar. I appreciate it. Good evening, Mr. Chair, Mr. President, and members of the committee. I'd like to thank the governor and the administration for the opportunity to serve the University of Maryland Medical System and the people of Maryland. As Senator Attar mentioned, I've worked almost my entire career in the healthcare industry, more than 30 years. I've had the chance to work with hospitals and health systems, healthcare technology and data companies, and most other stakeholders across the industry in that time. I've also had the privilege of serving as a board member and chair of Baltimore Medical System, the state's largest federally qualified health center. Where I kind of appreciated its mission to provide care to all populations across the area, often those who have challenges to accessing care. That experience, plus my broader healthcare strategy and finance experience, makes me, in my opinion, well positioned to serve and contribute to UMS and its important mission as a cornerstone institution in this state. So with that, I want to thank you for your consideration and welcome any questions from the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Sheehy. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, thank you, sir.
Great, thank you very much.
All righty. Next, we have Luke Dixon for the Commission on Correctional Standards. Mr. Dixon is a constituent of Senator Hershey's, and I will read Senator Hershey's letter of intro for Mr. Dixon. And it reads, Chair and members of the committee, I'm pleased to introduce Luke Dixon for the appointment of Commission on Correctional Standards. After reviewing his background and the qualifications that led to his nomination, he brings the experience and professionalism necessary for this important role. Mr. Dixon's record demonstrates a commitment to accountability, fairness, and consistent application of standards. I'm confident he will approach this appointment with seriousness and integrity. I respectfully urge the committee's favorable consideration of his nomination. Mr. Dixon, go right ahead, sir.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, President, I want to thank the Governor Moore team for the nomination. And I open myself for any questions you might have. You got it.
Okay. Thank you. And next, we have Dr. Yvette Okenda Baruz for the Health Benefits Exchange Board. Senator Cozzoni could not be here with us tonight, but he sent a letter of intro, and that I would read now on his behalf. Dear Chair Brooks, I am pleased to recommend that Dr. Yvette to serve on the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange Board. Dr. Okenzo Baruch has experience as a past medical director for CareFirst and Chase Braxton Healthcare, as well as through her work in healthcare throughout Maryland. Additionally, she served as a major in the U.S. Army, and during which time she served as a family physician at the Pentagon Army Health Clinic and the Aberdeen Proving Grounds Kirk Army Health Clinic. With this experience, Dr. Okendo Baruch would bring an informed perspective to the board. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Guy Cozzoni, Senator. Doc, you can come on up now. Oh, you already up.
Good evening, Mr. Chair Brooks, Senate President, Mr. Ferguson, and members of the committee. I'm truly humbled and honored for Governor Moore's appointment to the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange Board. Aside from having served in the military, my entire career has been serving Maryland families, mostly in Howard County, Maryland. And I really have the privilege to provide comprehensive care to many Maryland families across Maryland generations. And I had the opportunity to participate in most commercial health insurance programs, along with the government programs such as traditional Medicaid, MCOs, traditional Medicare, and Medicare Advantage programs. I also bring the experience from the payer perspective as I serve as a medical director for CareFirst, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Maryland for 6 years. So I'm truly humbled and honored to having been appointed for this position. And thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Doc. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Okay, next we'll have Donna Moeller for the University System of Baltimore Board of Regents to be introduced by Chair Brooks.
The Vice Chair, it's an honor to introduce Don Moeller as the newly appointed member of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents. Throughout his distinguished career, Don has demonstrated a deep commitment to public service and effective leadership, including serving as a chief of staff for a former Baltimore County exec, and then also as Baltimore County executive. He spent decades in Baltimore County public schools as a teacher, administrator, and senior leader, helping to shape and strengthen public education in our communities. His experience across both education and government, along with his thoughtful leadership and broad perspective, will serve the university system well as it continues to expand access to high-quality higher education for all Marylanders. Go ahead.
Senator Brooks, thank you very much. I want to thank you and Senator Muse, President Ferguson, members of the committee. It is an honor to appear before you today. I also would be remiss if I did not thank Secretary Byron, who has made this process seamless. So thank you very, very much for all of your preparation. I was extremely honored when Governor Moore asked if I would be willing to serve on the University System of Maryland Board of Regents. As the proud father of a Towson University and University of Maryland graduate, I know firsthand the impact that a quality public higher education can have on a student's life. Long before my career steered me toward county government, I was a proud 30-year employee of the Baltimore County Public Schools. I was privileged to serve as a social studies teacher, a department head, an assistant principal, a middle and a high school principal, concluding my career as a central office administrator. I often like to say at our family Sunday dinners, I was surrounded by my wife, the French teacher, my daughter, the elementary school teacher, and my sister-in-law, the art teacher. There's no doubt that a love for education is in my family's DNA. Along the way, I also had the opportunity to serve as an adjunct professor at Nova Southeastern University in Florida and Goucher College, teaching educational policy and leadership. In summary, I hope to be able to use the full breadth of my experience in education and county government to serve the students in the University of Maryland system. Once again, thank you very much, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, do we have any questions? Yes, go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Don, I'm super excited to see that you're a newly appointed member of the University of Maryland system. My frustration as it relates to the system's commitment to our historically Black colleges and universities continue to grow as we, there's even been a lawsuit against the system, but we still see our historically Black colleges and universities continuously to be undervalued and underfunded, especially in their capital budget. And then even to add insult to injury, the very lawsuit that brought them to court to still attempt to duplicate some of their efforts. And so if there's not another reappointment anytime soon, I wouldn't be very disappointed. I'm glad to see that there's new members coming, but I hope that as you take on this role, that you would take a critical eye and recognize the richness and fullness that these institutions bring to the system and help invest in them as we believe that they should be here in the great state of Maryland.
Senator, I really appreciate that question, and I think it's a critical question and something that needs careful consideration. As someone who believes greatly in the data, I think it's clear that our HBCUs are the economic engine for upward mobility for many of our students, particularly in the African-American community. I mean, the data speaks for itself. I think that HBCUs, I think the last time I looked, enroll approximately 10% of African-American college students in the nation, but they graduate 20% of the African-American students in the nation. They produce roughly 70% of the doctors and the dentists in the nation and 40% of the engineers. Yeah. The data is clear. It's about upward mobility. It's about looking at an issue and focusing like a laser beam and having a strategic plan to address the issues that you raise.
Absolutely. And also, just more specifically, want to please pay close attention to the capital budget that often come out of the University of Maryland system. Schools like I represent, Coppin State University, has 600 students living on campus, but 700 students spread out throughout the city of Baltimore, living in dorms, living in hotels, living in any place that they could possibly find some living, because the university system has not authorized new dorms in many, many years. Luckily, we probably have one coming on soon, but there's the lack of capital funding, and especially you serving as a county executive will help understand how important this is to these institutions and their growth.
Senator, I hope we can continue this dialogue and that it's ongoing and that we continue to focus on that issue, including the capital issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, Senator Carrozza?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Others on this committee and on the Senate Education Committee have had about the admission of Maryland students into the USM schools. And I've had some concerns in the past where students, my constituents, have applied to various schools and they've been accepted in Ivy League schools, but yet have not been accepted at University of Maryland College Park. And I know that my colleague, Senator Augustine, also has been a leader on trying to address that issue, but I just wanted to give you the opportunity to address it.
No, again, important question, pretty personal to me with having had a daughter be a proud graduate of the University of Maryland. I know what that rich experience can provide students, and we need to be able to provide that to students throughout the state. And I think they need to be at, my initial reaction is they need to be at the front of the line and certainly getting ample consideration for admission. I think one of the things I would pledge to you, Senator, is I learned long ago not to talk about things that I'm not fully versed in. So it's an issue that I know in a cursory way, but I promise you that if appointed to this board, I will roll my sleeves up, get to work, and take a careful look at that issue.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing now? Thank you, Mr. Mueller.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Okay. Senator Hayes? Oh. Yeah. Okay, that concludes the public hearing for tonight. Any questions or discussions from the committee before we entertain a motion to approve tonight's nominees?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
To separate out S22 when we vote.
Okay, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. I got you. Okay. Yes, okay. Yeah, okay, thanks. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, earlier in the session, I asked that we hold two nominees to the MEDCO board, Mr. David Miles as well as Mr. Scott Dorsey. To no fault of theirs, we've had a difficult time at getting something scheduled, but finally, today, I had a chance to talk to both of these gentlemen and is very satisfied and hopeful in their service. And I will hope that tonight that we could add them to the agenda and consider their nominations to the MEDCO board.
Okay, seeing,
So you'll need a motion.
okay, we'll need a motion for, yes.
Okay, we'll move for a favorable recommendation on the nominees identified on tonight's agenda, numbers 1 through 14 and 1 through S116 and number L1. And we're going to take out, with the exception of S22. Want to move for a favorable recommendation.
Second. Okay, all right, all in favor? Aye. Okay, any opposed? Seeing none, motion carried. Okay, all right, it's been moved and properly second on S22. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I'm gonna say no because
You recused, right, okay.
I'll say no because she didn't pass my bill out.
Oh.
Do that yet.
One recused.
I think we need to actually vote on the MEDCO.
Yeah, we need to vote on MEDCO. Yeah, okay, on the MEDCO, we're gonna need to vote on that. Can we get a motion on that?
Absolutely, Mr. Chair. I move that we accept the nominations of Scott Dorsey and what's the other, David Miles to the MEDCO board.
Okay, okay, it's been approved and second on the two nominees. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None? Okay. Can I get a motion for adjournment? Thank you.